Good morning. It is 9 a.m., 62 degrees. Thanks for tuning in to Daybreak as we stream here on WGRZ Plus. Some much needed relief is coming to homeowners across the state. Governor Kathy Hochul announced nearly 3 million New Yorkers will receive more than $2 billion in property tax relief, and it's all through the state's STAR program. Now, most homeowners will see a check in the mail between $350 and $600. Meanwhile, seniors could see between $700 and $1,500 in relief. Those eligible will receive their checks before their school tax payment deadline.
With that money, you can maybe fill up your gas tank, hopefully more than once, and make a couple of car payments and get some groceries and buy some school clothes if you've got little kids. But for seniors, the benefit is even bigger. Many are on fixed income. They're not bringing in income every single paycheck anymore. And so eligible seniors will receive between $700 and $1,500 in relief.
And the checks could come in the next few weeks. New Yorkers can track their payment or sign up for direct deposit at ny.gov/star. And Hochul's gubernatorial challenger in November says those checks are just a one-time rebate that do nothing to address Hochul's massive tax hikes. Bruce Blakeman says he'll deliver permanent relief by cutting income taxes and slashing utility bills. The Republican was in Amherst yesterday to open his Western New York campaign headquarters on Maple Road. There were about 100 supporters, GOP officials, and local leaders who turned out. And in an interview you'll see only on 2, Blakeman sat down with 2 on your side. During that conversation with our Nate Benson, Blakeman positioned himself as an alternative to Governor Kathy Hochul, pointing to his record in Nassau County on public safety, taxes, and the county's bond rating. He also says if elected, he'd prioritize direct talks with the Seneca Nation over the stalled gaming compact. And here's a little bit more about how he describes himself.
I've been a bartender, a busboy, a janitor. I worked on the back of a garbage truck, lawyer, councilman, legislator, county executive, and now my job is to run for governor and become governor and make life better for people in Western New York, make it more affordable and make it safer, cut taxes, cut utility rates in half, and hire more cops and create safer communities.
Blakeman's conversation with Nate also touched on Key Bank Center renovations, utility costs, universal child care, health care, bail reform, the Kensington Expressway project, and data centers. You can see the interview later this week on our WGRZ app. And speaking of data centers, some Western New York communities continue to pump the brakes on data center development. North Tonawanda lawmakers approved a year-long extension of a moratorium preventing new development on cryptocurrency mining and data centers. Mayor Austin Tylik says he wants to make sure the city keeps strict oversight over the DigiPower facility on Erie Avenue. Noise from that facility has been an issue for quite some time now for residents there. North Tonawanda isn't alone in its concerns. In Cattaraugus County, the Allegheny Town Board is also taking a firm stance. It just banned the development, construction, and operation of data centers. And Allegheny Town Supervisor Chris McPherson believes that they could pose threats to health, safety, and well-being of residents.
These projects don't really, there's no jobs that are created, doesn't really add to the tax base. There's a lot of incentives that are given to them, and there's no real benefit to the community. I think it was important to address that.
A moratorium can only do so much for so long. And considering the site there is more or less grandfathered in, we are in a very tight situation.
Earlier this month, New York State passed a statewide moratorium on data center development, but Governor Kathy Hochul still has not signed it. Hochul says there are still a variety of things that need to be considered before the state takes official action. The death of a Buffalo refugee is back in the spotlight. Lawmakers, advocates, and the family of Nurul Amin Shah Alam are expected to hold a news conference this morning. They're calling on the Erie County Legislature to hold a public hearing into the circumstances surrounding his death. The blind refugee was found dead back in February, just a few days after he was released from the Erie County Holding Center and dropped off by Border Patrol agents at a closed Tim Hortons. The medical examiner's office ruled his death a homicide, sparking outcry and calls for transparency and accountability. And that includes this online petition called Justice for Nurul. And we do expect to learn more about this petition just before 11 a.m. at Old County Hall on Franklin Street. A Hamburg man accused of stabbing and killing his mother will be in court today. James Jenny McCullough is charged in connection with the death of his 71-year-old mother, Loretta Jenny. Officers discovered her body after responding to their home for a welfare check back in December. Jenny McCullough was arrested, given a mental health exam, and was found not competent to stand trial. That has since been overruled, though, clearing the way for today's court hearing this afternoon. Admitted Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann will be sentenced today. He pleaded guilty earlier this year to killing 8 women, including Buffalo native Melissa Barthelemy. In that admission, Heuermann said that he met the victims, strangled them, and dumped their bodies near Gilgo Beach, and also in Manorville and Southampton in Long Island over a 17-year period. Heuermann is facing life in prison without parole. A woman charged in connection to a child abuse case in Buffalo is expected to appear in court today. 20-year-old Cassandra Bauman is charged with 1 count of assault and 1 count of reckless endangerment in the alleged abuse of a 7-year-old child on Parkdale Avenue. Prosecutors say that child nearly died after being forced into a cold bath multiple times, held underwater, tied up, beaten, and starved. The child's mother and stepfather are facing more serious charges and face up to 25 years in prison if convicted. Bauman's exact role in the alleged abuse is still unclear. 9:06 on Daybreak, 62 degrees, and it's time for a look at the forecast with Patrick. And some cloud cover, not too bad. What's that wind behind? That wind?
It was just, a little glitch. There is not a cloud in the sky. Well, there are some clouds, but it is. I was just up on the roof, and it is absolutely cobalt blue sky. So, looks good. All right, for today, though, there will be some clouds kind of in and out today. 72, 64 degrees with some showers and a thunderstorm overnight tonight. And then, how did you see that little wind icon? You've got this giant map of a picture, and there's a little thing, and you saw it.
That's what I do, Patrick.
You are amazing.
That's one word to describe it. Nitpicky.
Okay, so I could write a novel and misspell one word, and she'd go, Patrick, I loved that novel, but on page 74, you misspelled schedule.
That's me. Don't you love me? Aren't you lucky to work with me every day?
So that little wind icon, I just forgot to fade it out.
It's fine. You're forgiven. It's okay. We just are reminded it's going to be windy tomorrow.
I can't get away with anything. All right, we've got some rain tomorrow in the form of some showers. I think the bulk of the rain coming over the next 24 hours is going to fall tonight, but there will be some showers tomorrow, and it will be windy as well. Okay, here we go. We've got sunshine now, but some clouds will increase from time to time. So in and out of cloud cover today. Looks pretty good. There is the system, though, that we're watching for some rain tonight. It's going to cause some severe weather today. In fact, we have a moderate risk of severe weather across parts of Illinois and Indiana today. And I want to show you something. This is kind of a classic thing. Melissa, you'll kind of find this interesting too. There are times when on radar, see this clusters of storms and see how it looks kind of like a walking creature, okay? Do you see that with the little tentacles coming down?
Yeah.
It looks kind of scary. Sometimes this happens with the way just the presentation on radar. It actually looks maybe as bad as it actually could be, simply because of the little tentacles that stick out. I've seen this time and time again. Sometimes you see like a classic bow or just a line, or you can see these little fingers of severe weather shooting out. So anyway.
So would that mean like one tornado after another after
no,
another?
not necessarily, but it's just basically it's a severe line of storms, maybe a gust of wind out ahead of it, creating a line in front. It's just, I'm saying just visually, it looks, what is that thing coming at us? So it doesn't really suggest tornadoes or anything, even though tornadoes are quite possible today. maybe not from this cluster of storms, but one that's probably going to form behind it.
And is that going to miss us?
Well, I would say maybe not this exact line of rain, but the energy in the atmosphere, the spin in the atmosphere, and the moisture with it is going to come our way. And yes, this rain will affect us tonight. Again, it may not be this exact area of cloud cover, but we will get rain from this system tonight, starting probably around sunset or just thereafter. So anyway, let's time it out here. On Future Look, you can see rain rolling in this evening as early as 8:30, 9 o'clock. And that's why if there's any evening events, the tail end of them could get a little wet. All right, there is overnight, the rain continues. And then tomorrow morning, still some showers, even though the heaviest rain will have passed off to the east. We will see some showers around, some dry times too, but it will be on the windy side. Highs today, low 70s, low to mid 70s tomorrow, upper 60s to low 70s. Rainfall, again, I think we're going to see anywhere between 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. There may be some heavier totals if a thunderstorm rolls through, but a healthy amount of rain. And wind too. Wind is going to get gusty tonight out of the south, but then it becomes more southwesterly, and that will suggest winds along the lake that can enhance a bit. And some spots, like in Buffalo, could see winds gusting to between 45 and 50 miles an hour. Maybe not downtown, but Cheektowaga, Depew, Lancaster, up towards Clarence, some of those wind-prone areas. So for today, partly cloudy and mild, and 71 to 72. A couple of showers are possible Juneteenth afternoon. Saturday looks fine, Father's Day too, and then some rain to start next week.
Fine. Very nice, Patrick. I mean, it's not very nice, actually. It's fine, but.
Yeah, it's not. This doesn't say Melissa's 7-day zone forecast, which if it did.
Just 80 and 70.
It would say 80. Right.
Straight across. That's all I want.
Not reality.
It's not too much to ask for.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Patrick, thank you. Stay with us. Coming up after the break, we are going to talk 11-day power play and the new statues going up in front of the new Highmark Stadium. Stay with us. Welcome back. It is 9:14, 62 degrees, and mark your calendar, Bills Mafia. The training camp schedule is out. 7 practices open to fans at St. John Fisher in Pittsford. Practices begin July 29th and run through August 7th. All sessions beginning at 8:30 in the morning. If you want to go, you do have to enter a lottery for tickets, although I believe the tickets are free.
Yeah, they should
But
be
you
free.
still have to
Right.
win the lottery to
Right.
get tickets, up to 4 tickets per person. What other NFL's team do you have to have lotteries for?
Yeah.
Training camp practices.
I've seen very crowded training camps with other teams, but not to the extent where you have to get a lottery, and not that it's sold out. Now, what do you think about only 7? That's a big decrease in
Is
what?
it?
Oh yeah, like last year it was 10.
Oh.
And back in the day, I mean, training camp lasted like a month. And it's great that they're still doing it there, but for some, training camp is the only access that they have to the team.
Right.
Right?
Especially now.
Especially now. So when you have less of those days, it's, I wonder, it's just different,
Right. For kids being able to see Josh Allen throw in person.
And have the possibility of meeting him or getting up close and things like that, because that access is important. And it's great that the Bills do that at St. John Fisher, but it's under Brady, it's less. And when they go to, I heard this, when they go to the Return of the Blue and Red, they don't go back to
St. John Fisher.
St. John Fisher after, like they come back for that game and then they stay.
Right, and then everything's closed off.
Right.
The blue and red scrimmage, we're still trying to get some information about what the ticketing will look like for that, since that will be the first time that
Imagine
anyone.
if they sell that. Because think about it. That might be another opportunity that people have to get into that stadium.
Well, that's the first time.
No, I know, but I'm saying, imagine how many tickets will they give away for that? Could they sell it out?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. Is that only going to? I apologize for my mic. I know it's not sounding great.
That sounds great.
I know. I'm sorry. We're trying to figure out what the ticket situation is, and we're not getting a lot of information from the Bills right now about whether they're actually going to be selling tickets to that, whether it's just going to season ticket holders. But I know I've had a couple friends who are selling their preseason game tickets as PSL holders. The preseason game tickets are going for $250 to $300 for the worst seats in the house.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty significant, the demand.
Okay, what percentage of PSLs do you think are local versus out-of-town people?
Oh, I would say a lot.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the seats also, some of the seats had to be saved for the team, their staff, the opposing team.
No, I would assume it's mostly local, but given
Right.
the price point, and it's sold out, I don't know, it's just so different, now to get to a game, to afford a game.
Yeah.
Compared
And there
to
will
10,
be a
20
lot of
years
us
ago.
whoever PSLs that will be waiting a really long time for the ticket prices to go down that we can afford to go in. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, if you want to go to St. John Fisher to see the team, you can apply for the ticket lottery that begins on Wednesday. How are we doing? What's going on now? What should we do?
Let's talk about the ribbon cutting, which is a week from today. Which your mic's doing something.
I know. I really don't know.
The groundbreaking for the actual stadium was 3 years ago, earlier this month. I think it was also on a two. Anyway, so 3 years.
Yeah.
Fast forward, and boom, you're cutting the ribbon.
And you live down there, so you have been able to watch this baby go up
And fast and driving. I remember
fast, but not fast, but also.
But it's just, you go back. I even have some pictures on my phone when they installed the fence. Like what's the first truck that pulls up? Where do we start? Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing too, Melissa, I reference this thing all the time. Behind the stadium is this massive mound of dirt.
Right.
It's like a mountain range. And I'm thinking, okay, that's what they're going to use, I think, to fill in the old Highmark. But I'm thinking, how are they going to get? Lo and behold, I drove by yesterday, and there's all of these big bulldozers and scoopers up there, and truck after truck after truck going up. They're loading it up, and they're driving away.
Wow.
And they've actually taken a big slice out of that mountain. It was incredible. I'm like, they're like, okay, hey guys, what are you guys doing on Friday? You got to move this. Move over there. I mean, it's a mountain.
Yeah. And what is that hole in the ground going to look like by the time fans start coming in August for these preseason games? But right now, what everyone's talking about are finally those bison statues are going up right in front of the stadium. The finishing touches. The first of the 3 stainless steel bison were put up yesterday in the stadium's public plaza. And there's a lot of talk online about whether people like them or not now that fans have seen them. The baby looks like a baby, though. This is the baby. The big one's going to be 27 feet tall, 2.5 stories, and will potentially look a little bit more like a bison.
But you can understand if you drove by yesterday, as I did, and I saw them installing this, my first thought, without giving it a lot of thought, that looks kind of small. But I didn't.
It's only 12 feet.
I know,
it is
and so
small.
I'm thinking, okay, I didn't think.
Yeah.
Shocking. I didn't think that, okay, there's 3, and maybe this is the smaller of the 3. But I thought, oh my, if it's this.
Right, and it's got these tall, scrawny legs. And
I was like, this might be a big story. Then I'm thinking, wait a minute. So then I pulled up a rendering on my phone. I'm like, oh,
right.
The 2 big boys, boy and girl, are coming. In the next week. You got to believe they're going to.
They have to be ready for the ribbon cutting, which is next Tuesday.
Right.
But I asked people on social, like, what do you think about it? And somebody posted a picture of a Cybertruck, a Tesla Cybertruck, right next to it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they kind of resemble each other.
But
some people are upset that they're not just like regular looking bison. They're very.
But this isn't a shock.
State of the art.
The images for these bisons were released like 6 months ago.
And this is what they look like.
This is what they look like. And I think initially there were people that had comments, and then everybody relaxed and said, yeah, this is actually going to be pretty cool. I think if there's any, backlash, it'll last like an hour.
Right.
Then they're going to be up. People are going to realize how good they look.
Do you think they light up?
Oh, yeah, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone also wrote me on social saying that the first, lighting of the stadium happened last night. at one part of the stadium, like it was actually lit.
Well, what's interesting is a couple weeks ago, I got some pictures of people driving, and there was this tremendous purple glow above in the clouds, and people were like, "What is that? What is that?" I'm like, "Well, the moon wasn't out," and I realized it was the stadium. And I don't know if they turned all the lights on, but they turned on a set of lights that were purple, and the whole sky, because it was cloudy, was this purplish glow. It was really, really cool. So imagine when the whole place is on.
I mean, listen to us talking about the lighting and how excited we are. There's just so much excitement surrounding this $2 billion stadium, and the ribbon will be cut next week. We're told that there's going to be a press conference. There will be speakers including Terry Pagula, Governor Kathy Hochul, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz. We're sure that there will be many, many more. And that's all starting at 10 a.m. next Tuesday. So we'll be carrying it live. We'll be live here on Daybreak at 9 a.m. I'll be out there at the stadium and talking to hopefully some of the folks that helped to build the stadium and people with connections to the Bills through the years. And so it'll be really fun to see. I'm hoping to get a tour. I don't know if I will be able to, but I want to see inside just as much as all of you do.
Yeah.
And so it's a really exciting time for the city, for the team, and they are on time. Not necessarily on budget. The budget kept increasing and increasing.
Well, that's good.
But they're on time.
Yeah, they're on time. It's amazing that with there weren't too many. There was just a couple setbacks here or there, but through sleet, rain, snow, hail, they built it. Despite the weather, it was amazing.
And you and I have always talked about just the process of building a stadium, and one little thing that could go wrong. If you rewire this one little thing, everything could be screwed
A
up.
goes into C before B goes into D.
Let's go to page number 4,332 for the directions of how to build an NFL stadium.
I mean, there is a manual that says, and there's a little diagrams, little. It's amazing. The construction of any building, quite frankly, but something this massive is.
And
I can't
what if they got the wind directions wrong, or they're trying to build the canopy so that it blocks out some of the weather. What if they needed to shift it 15 degrees this way?
Dang it! Oh my gosh!
And now the kicking game is awful because the wind really is creating a tunnel in the wrong side.
Well, first of all, I got so much study went into that.
Yeah.
And they know what the prevailing wind is, and it doesn't change too much there.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty rare that the wind comes from the opposite way. But yeah, you're right.
But the first big snowstorm, what's it going to look like on the field? Because the field is heated.
Right. Well, now there were some snows this season with the stadium almost done. And but I don't know if the turf was in yet, the grass was in yet, so we don't know. But
it's heated under the grass.
Yeah. It's going to be, from a weather standpoint, it is going to be vastly different because you are not going to have the snow component as we did before, or the wind. There still will be weather, temperature, and all that, but just not as much.
Yeah.
But dang it! I told you, Jack. 35 degrees that way.
All right, we will have a little bit more coming up after the break. Stay with us. All right, the Taste of Buffalo will be here in no time, and they gave us an idea of what's going to be new on the menus this year. Officials revealed some of the new. Ooh, that looks good. Is that pulled pork?
Slider.
I don't know. I'm just hungry. 42 restaurants and food trucks taking part this year in the two-day food festival. More than a dozen of those are new, but of course you've got your favorites too that come back year after year, like that Bob's Smokehouse, Just Pizza, and Bob's Pierogi. Tops is always there too. Their breakfast pizza is the best, by the way. The Taste of Buffalo is coming up. Ooh, that looks good too. July 11th and 12th.
Rice, peas, and chicken. That's a concept. It did look good.
Sometimes there are very unique items as well, not just rice, peas, and chicken.
I'm sure it was tasty.
Yes.
A little soy sauce. That's something. Carry on.
It's when you go to the Taste though, and it's so hot sometimes, do you go for the hot dishes or do you just try to? And there's
so true.
Sometimes we are lucky enough to be judges, and I hope I get to be a judge this year. So if anyone's listening, I want to be a judge. But I always get the soup.
On a hot day.
I'm like, this is the last, and I shouldn't. Beggars can't be choosers, and I'm very grateful that I'm often able to be a judge, but they give you 5 restaurants, and you have to try everything at those 5 restaurants, or 3 to 5 restaurants. Right. And you don't get to choose. Mm-hmm. And it always works out that I have the heaviest, baked potato sundae or the mashed potato sundae with the stuff on it. It's so heavy.
Yeah. Or you get to do the espresso machine. Really? I would love a hot coffee on an 85-degree day. But no, you're right. Some of it's kind of heavy, but they don't give you too much. I always feel for the cooks out there in those trucks and not a lot of shade, or they're in those trucks that
feeding, and they never get a break.
No,
I mean, it's thousands,
it's constant.
Tens of thousands of people there. So good luck to all of the vendors who are out there maybe for the first time, and go and enjoy it. If you've never been to the Taste, try a restaurant maybe that you've never tried, and then actually go to the restaurant after the Taste and frequent these bars and restaurants in Western New York that are doing so great.
So July
11th and 12th.
Okay.
And by the way, it's the 11-day power play starting today. So maybe you can go to Harbor Center, cheer on some of the athletes who are giving back and raising lots of money for Roswell and other local charities as well. So good luck to all of those players at the 11-day power play. Bye, everybody.